Greetings from the two of us. I'm Russ Hatfield, along with my twin soul Kara, who's a higher dimensional member of Ashtar Command stationed on Mars. This latest lesson on coercion is from Kiri through Mark Crocker and is called Coercion 101. Kiri gives her version of Coercion 101 with all the little steps needed to begin once the morals have been locked into place and the reasons to coerce are well understood. She manages to coerce two people at once in a demonstration of her skill and list almost every great world leader and their skills at coercion. You can follow her online transcript at the link below at our homepage, centerforascension.org. Please subscribe if you want at the end of this video to be alerted to future challenge sessions, editorials from Kara and myself, and lessons from the Center for Ascension. And now, Coercion 101.
Yo! Dudes! Okay. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You shouldn't make yourself so comfortable. Now, to answer your coercive question, how are you feeling?
How am I feeling?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling fine.
How are you really feeling?
A little under the weather and
A little bit down
a
and...
little bit down and depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have no money. I don't have no honey. My truck's broke. I don't have a full-time job. Yeah, it's been a intense, stressful situation for me. No doubt about that.
Now, what makes you so talkative?
Oh, you asked me a question. I wanted to be honest
Mm-hmm. Why did you want to be honest?
because you asked me a straightforward question. And I believe that the more honest we are, the further I can progress from a third-dimensional state to a sixth-dimensional state. The more knowledge I obtain, the easier my progression will be.
What's that look for, Russ?
Well, I know where this conversation is going. I think it's more tea, one for one.
Yeah, sure, honey.
Oh, you going as well? I was just giving you a demonstration on coercion.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to coerce myself another cup of tea.
I've just opened him up and had him talking like a book, and what does he do? Runs off, doesn't thank me. So how are you doing, David? Yes, I've heard all about your knee problem. I've heard all about your disappointment about the ski season so far. Or snowboard season? Sorry.
I tried real hard not to be a stressful person.
You ought to take a lesson from Mark. He's very stressful at the moment. Thank you. Second question. Why did you get up and get me a cup of tea?
Oh, because I wanted one.
You came on you, though, didn't it?
I got the Kiri blues.
Two at a time. I'm getting good. I am the champion. Now, back to shielding against coercion. Against me using Mark's energy, you got a tough time. Me against you, person to person, no joy. However,
what did you say? No joy?
Yeah,
It's
no
an
joy.
English expression for no kills on a mission.
Okay, now, coercion. Now, what you have to do is focus on somebody. As thus, right? Think a thought. And to start off with, we suggest like come, go, sit, stand, tea, drink, lie down, stand up, walk, talk, and so on. You think this one word. You visualize the word. For example, talk. And you look at the person. You get them to talk. Or stand. Right? You visualize the word in your head. You visualize them standing up. And what do they do, Russ?
Well, they tend to scratch the limb. That's what I do.
At least you got them to move.
Mm-hmm. You're part of the way there. All sorts of things. You think with one word, you visualize it in big, mighty big letters. and you look at them and you smile and you get them to stand.
Can I skip over the preliminaries and like make someone's head blow off their body?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to have to start with the simple techniques first?
That's right. Now, there are certain ground rules because coercion can be used to get one's personal gain. If you are a great orator, take, for example, you seem to have a thing about the guy with the moustache and the short attitude and the corporal.
I think he was insane.
But he was a very strong coercer.
Oh, I really liked the way he was a good orator.
Mm-hmm.
He was a maniac, but he was a genius maniac.
Yeah, the border between genius and madness is very narrow. Another person, Joseph Stalin, very great orators. Winston Churchill, Roosevelt, Lincoln, all great orators, all very good at communicating, get people to believe their ideas. It is also in the way that they carry themselves. Notice that they all stand up straight. They don't slouch when they talk. They talk with passion. They use their arms. They generate this huge field to coerce a lot of people. So therefore, you've got to learn how to coerce with words before you can coerce mentally. And then from mentally, you've got to go on. But if you take people like Hitler and Stalin, they're corrupt because what they wanted was world domination for their own personal gain. You take Roosevelt, Lincoln, Washington, all your great American people, Ronald Reagan. They coerce for the common good, a little bit for personal gain as well. So normally when you coerce for personal gain, things go wrong. You end up being disliked, shot at, killed, blown up, poisoned, going crazy. So therefore you've got to be careful when you coerce in a negative way. Now here's a question for you, John. My situation for you. You are a very clever coercer like myself, right? I go for a job interview and I need a job. I coerce a person for the job. Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Tell me why.
Because I wouldn't use that technique unless I was in a desperate situation and needed a job desperately.
Mm-hmm.
And with what I do for a living, cooking, eating goes hand in hand with it.
Oh, exactly.
A cook won't starve to death. I don't care what the company policy is.
Mm-hmm. You've got to sample the food.
So therefore, I'm forced into it.
Yeah. So therefore, using your coercion to get a job, right? You coerce the person into giving you the job. You're doing something for yourself, but you're also doing something for them because you are a talented chef. All chefs think they're great. And I mean that in a complimentary way. That's what makes them good. So, in return, they bring their style and flair to that place. And if it is marketed correctly, that place thrives. Take your place in Sedona, Judy's. Before you got there, what was it? It was an okay restaurant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was okay, hole in the wall, surviving on a shoestring.
And when you got there, and after a year or two, what happened? Ta-ta! Johnny arrived.
Yeah.
Everything went great.
We expanded the menus. We increased the food quality. We increased the amount of business and revenue.
Mm-hmm.
I also, in turn, increased my wages proportionally.
Mm-hmm. And you became a very important part of the team.
That's true.
So therefore, you brought something as an employee to the company that certainly benefited them. So by using a coercive means, it works two ways. You survive, or I would survive if I was a chef, and you do wonderful things for the company. So therefore, using coercion in a negative form can actually turn into a positive form in that sense. Whereas if you go for a job that you really don't need, that you're going to rip off the company and you coerce them. That's bad. So you see that it is
You're taking away somebody's own decision.
I
You're
see
not
what
allowing them to decide for themselves who
So-
they think the best.
sometimes people's decisions are flawed.
Yeah, but everybody thinks their way of thinking is right.
Mm-hmm. You're quite correct, but by putting yourself in a situation where you benefit them and they benefit you, it's a mutual thing. After a while, it doesn't matter whether you coerce them or not. The fact remains, such as Judy's, that the place blossomed with the help of Johnny. So if he had coerced for a job, it would have probably happened quicker if he learned how to coerce here. The same thing could happen. It also depends on, I believe, marketing as well. You can have the greatest food in the world, and if it's not marketed properly. So coercion can have a positive effect. Even though you do take away the person's free will, it is only for a one-off. On the other hand, if you take away their free will in a negative way, for example, let us take, I can't think of anybody new. I suppose we could go back to the little corporal again. But I'm sick of the little corporal. Anybody else sick of him?
Yeah. I don't want to hear anything else about Hitler.
Okay. A little captain from France. Great coercer.
Oh, Napoleon?
Mm-hmm. Great coercer. Another great one. Tell me, did Napoleon do anything good?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do good?
He turned France into world power,
Mm-hmm.
European power.
Mm-hmm. Feel good about themselves.
Yeah, and brought back their patriotism.
Mm-hmm. But he gave something, again, as a coercer, much more important. Russ, what's your answer?
He brought in a order to things before it was pretty well messed up.
Mm-hmm. But he brought one very important thing, and it's close to order. He brought the law that they still use, and thank you, Tia. The law that they still use in their country today was invented partly by Napoleon. A little bit like George Washington in your country and the founding parents.
Didn't put a lot of people in graves, though.
Yes, that's a negative side. He dominated and killed thousands and thousands of people. So therefore, he was a border point good, bad coercer. And what happened to him? He died very young. So, coercion. What have we learned tonight? You have to control it very, very carefully. Otherwise, you get beyond your wildest dreams and you go crazy. Simple as that. You become a very bad person. Do we have any questions?
Yeah. Can you give us any advice on techniques and tools to use so we don't abuse coercion and coercive powers and shielding?
Here's the biggest tool. Here and here. Does it feel right? Certainly some of the bad people have always thought it felt right. But is it really right? Does it benefit you and you alone? Or does it benefit the other person? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. And if it feels good here, and the answer here is that it benefits both parties, or it benefits them more than it benefits you, then it's good. Take Mark's current problem. If he coerces her, he's taken away her learning experience. If he doesn't coerce her, she proceeds down a way where she will never learn. So what does he do? pulls out its hair, goes crazy, and gets stressed out about it. Does it benefit her? Certainly, it does take away the problems, and it does help her. But does she learn? Yes, she does learn. But why doesn't he coerce her? I don't know. She won't let me in. And you guys have gone mighty quiet.
Oh, well. That was a board question.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, I got other questions. Coercion, so I'll wait for the questions.
Okay, any more questions on coercion?
No, not for me. Thank you. You've been very informative.